Hi, I'm Deric LIpski. Welcome to another round of our video blog. Today we're talking about the top 10 things sellers should do in terms of getting their home on the market, getting it sold. Today's topic will be just the first part of that, which is price. And I bring price up because it is the most important of all. It doesn't matter what else we do in this market. If we can't price it right, it'll never sell. You could advertise it, you could put it in the Boston Globe, you can put it in Time Life magazine, the front page. If it is not priced right, all you're doing is letting the world know you have an overpriced listing, and that's the last thing we want to do. It doesn't do you or me any good to have my sign in front of that yard and have the home sit there for 6 months and no one looking at it, making offers on it. It's just frustrating for everybody. I do a lot of expired listings at people that have had the homes on the market with other agents and just haven't sold them, and I go there and they all tell me the same thing. Deric, after 100 days of this home not selling, it's getting old quick. You know, people come in, it's like looking in a fishbowl. They look around, they don't buy, they don't even make an offer. So when you have that kind of problem, there's something going on, and there's usually a couple reasons why the home doesn't sell, but 9 out of 10 times it's usually pricing of the property. And it's a thing that sellers don't want to look at first. Obviously, everyone wants to make the most money. I get that. The problem in this market is you want to get the most the market will bear without letting price stop you from selling. That's the key thing to really focusing on. Price cannot stop you. Yes, let's get the most a home's going to get, but let's not let price stop us from even getting buyers to make offers on it. And it happens all the time. I talk to sellers and say, well, I don't want to reduce it because I'm not even getting offers on my property, and that's the problem. You're not even getting offers, let alone a low ball. See, people don't do what they used to do 5 years ago. They just throw in an offer and see what happens. This market's changed a lot of way buyers and sellers react to different things, and so what we need to do is look at that and say, okay, the house has been on the market for 500 days, you don't have an offer, there may be a price issue here. Let's look at it and let's look what the comps have. So what you want to do is have an agent come out, get an idea what the home is worth, because in this market, you can find 4 or 5 different values for a home. I can give you what it's insured for. I can give you what the town assesses it at. I can give you what an appraisal will appraise it at. I can give you what a homeowner wants on it, and I can give you what a buyer's going to put a price on it, and I can tell you what it's realistic worth, market value. So those are all different factors. What we want to find out is the main one. What's the market value? What's a buyer willing to pay in today's market? That's based on comps, homes that are like yours, same style, age, condition, location, that offer similar amenities. That's what we want to look at. And please, if you have an agent coming out to your house, get your comps ready. We're going to bring ours, and we're going to show you exactly what homes are like yours. And I know it's not 100% like yours. We're going to give and take a bit, but you want to look at that and say, hey, here's 4 homes that are like yours. Here's our best comp. Do you have anything that's like this? No. Then we have to go by this, because this is what buyers are willing to pay in today's market. And additionally, if we try to go over this, even if we get a buyer that doesn't do his homework and says, oh, I like that, I'll pay that price, we still got to get it by an appraiser, a mortgage broker, and an underwriter. And in this market, we're having a really hard time with the banks. They are scrutinizing everything. So we want to make sure we're priced right, because number one, it's going to sell faster. You're going to get the most the market will bear in today's market. And if the market continues to go down, the sooner you sell, the more you'll make. I talk to sellers all the time, and I say to them, hey, listen, your home just came off the market. It didn't sell. Well, what do you want to do with it? And they're like, well, I'm going to hold off till springtime. And then you want to say something like, well, if you hold off till springtime, if we know the market hasn't gone up yet, and no indicating, even with this plan that the president's laid out, which is a great plan, a recession plan to try to stimulate the economy, it hasn't really changed anything. So if you look at the facts, the last 5 years the market's going down. If we look at just the facts, we'd say, well, it's probably going to be worth less in springtime. If you knew it'd be worth less in springtime, would you sell it now for the most money? And most reasonable people will say yes. If someone says no, then there's something else underlying there. Either they don't like you, or they're not really into reality, or they don't have to sell. They're not motivated. And that's the thing too. A lot of people aren't motivated for this market. If you're just putting the home on the market to see what it's going to do, don't do it. I mean, you got to want to sell this property, and you have to price it right. You can't need the price to move. You can't say, Deric, I need this price to make a move. It doesn't matter what a seller needs in this market. The home is only worth X. I can have the best story for a house and tell buyers, this guy, his family's in trouble. They're going to be moving. They need every penny out of this to make the move. No one's going to overpay for a property. Nobody. In this economy, no one's overpaying, and you certainly wouldn't overpay in the house you buy. So let's not overprice based on what price you think you need. Also, don't leave a lot of room to negotiate. price it right and hold tight. Really, price this house to where you think the market's going to be at. Yes, you're going to get some negotiations. Most of my offers come in within 2 to 3% of the asking price. If I can't negotiate them up, then they're not the right buyers. I might say, let's not go with these. If we've been on the market for 60 days and that's all we have, we'll have to work with those guys and make a decision based on the facts, what's out there. If we can't find anybody else, if we want to make the move, let's talk to these buyers and try to bring what the seller thinks and what the buyer thinks, you know, that gap between which is the market, together and say, hey, let's give and take a little bit, see if we can put this together to keep it together. People say they can always make me an offer. People aren't making offers like that anymore. They just don't do it. They're not going to just throw some crazy lowball number. If you think of it yourself, if you've got 5 homes on the market, this guy's at 280, this guy's at 250, this guy's at 240, and this guy's at 220, and all the homes are very similar, well, as a buyer, I'm making an offer on 220 because the reality is he's closer to the negotiating price that I want to be at, rather than try to get the 280 down to 220, which will probably never happen. Yeah, some people say we can always come down in price later. You know, that's something that's a little funny because, you know, if you haven't been on the market before, you're going to want to look at that and say, all right, so I haven't been on the market before. I want to try this price. Some sellers have to go through that to get sort of beat up in this market. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish I could be good enough at every presentation to tell people, hey, here's the price it has to be at, and this is the facts why, and everyone understood that and said, no, let's do it. Everyone thinks they can get a little more from their home than their competition, which is fine. I don't mind trying some numbers as long as they're realistic and there's a time frame set on that. So let's say the home is worth $200,000. You want to put it on for $220,000. Okay, let's try that, but let's put a 30-day or 14-day cutoff line. That if it's not sold by then, let's do what's right before it's too long to do what's right, or it gets too painful later on to do what's right, because the market doesn't care what you do. It continues to go down, and as it goes down and you stay at this price, it moves away from you. And when that time comes to change that gap, it gets a lot harder, because now instead of 200, it might be 190, and it's not something that you want to do. People get different opinions from different agents. I mean, it's funny. You can have 4 agents come into the property. You're going to get 4 different prices. What the whole idea of interviewing different agents is about is trying to find that 80-20 rule, which means, you know, 80% of the agents out there are only selling 20% of the inventory, and 20% of the agents are selling 80% of the inventory. So the whole idea of getting one of those 20% agents is, when you interview 3 or 4 agents, is hope that you get that person. The good news for you is that I'm the top 3, so look no further. You've already found me. But that's today's tip on pricing. I know it was a little corny at the end, but I like to throw in a little bit of comedy if I can. Any questions, always call me. My number's posted here on my website. If you have anything that you guys want to know about on real estate, post it here. Leave a message. I'll do a video blog on it. We'll talk about it. Tomorrow's tip number 2 in terms of how to get your home sold. I hope you enjoyed today.